Hello, Achim Yekarim. I hope you had an amazing Purim. Be'ezrat Hashem, tomorrow is Shabbat, Holy Shabbat. And I wanted to give a last Jidush on the Megillat Esther. It's one of the best Musar books I've ever read. Things that we can learn and apply to our life. And today we're going to learn from the Torah, we're going to learn from the Megillah how to deal with evil people. Because unfortunately in today's world, sometimes we encounter evil, wicked people. And then the Torah tells us how to deal with them. How do we know how to deal with them? Exactly how Hashem deals with them. We have to learn everything from Hashem. So now in Megillat Esther, after the story breaks, and at the second dinner, Esther exposes Haman being the wicked man that he is, saying that he's the one that's trying to kill me, he's the one that's trying to kill and destroy my people. Haman is left dumbfounded. He trembles in terror before the king and the queen, and for the first time in the entire Megillah, we find Haman without anything to say, without any way to defend himself. Because for the first time in his life, he has no way to defend himself. Had he been with Esther or the king Achashverosh alone, he would be able to defend himself. But since both of them were in that dinner, there's no way he could defend himself. Because if he tells Esther, listen, I didn't know you were Jewish. If I knew you were Jewish, then I wouldn't have killed all of them. He couldn't use that argument because then he just told Achashverosh that the Jewish people are so evil, they have to be extinct. They're so wicked, they're so against them, you have to destroy them. So how could you say, what, she's one? You're going against what you told me and what you're willing to pay $384 million in today's money is what he paid Achashverosh in order to do this. So you can't speak out of both sides of your mouth. And that's usually the acts of the evil people. The evil people usually tell you one thing, they do something else, or they tell both sides things they want to hear, and in reality just go with the winning horse because the only side they care about is their own. So here Hashem put Haman HaRasha in a situation where he can't get himself out of this hole. And this is something that we actually see how Hashem himself has dealt with evil people in the past. How far past? We go back to creation. We go back to the creation and we have Adam and Chava unfortunately make the first sin of mankind and eat from the tree of knowledge. After they eat from the tree of knowledge, Hashem comes to them and he says, what happened? What happened over here? How did you make the sin? So Adam says, the woman you gave to me, she gave me of the tree, and I ate. Meaning it's her fault. Go blame her. She's the woman that you're the one that gave me this woman, and she's the one that made me sin. A little bit of a kfui tova, a little bit of ungratefulness here from Adam HaRishon. Chazal says that when before Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai died, Adam HaRishon came to him in his dream, and he says, no one knows the real sin that I made except you. So please, when you come to Gan Eden, do not embarrass me and tell everyone my sin, because until now everyone thinks I sinned because of the tree of knowledge, but in reality they don't know the real sin and the real story of what happened. Maybe this is the sin, the ungratefulness. Gemara says Hashem hates ungratefulness. This could potentially be the sin, but this is just my personal take on it, not necessarily what Chazal says. Chazal says it's ungratefulness, but I don't know if this is necessarily the sin. But back to the story. Adam HaRishon blames it on the woman. So Hashem says to the woman, what is this that you have done? And the woman says, meaning Chava, the serpent, the snake, he deceived me, so I ate. It's not my fault. It's the snake's fault. He's the one that fooled me. He said, look, you're touching the tree and Hashem's not killing you. In reality, he fooled her. He twisted her words. Hashem, and this is actually part of her own fault. Because she added words to what Hashem said. Hashem said, do not eat from the tree. She said, don't touch and don't eat from the tree. So as soon as he heard that she made a mistake, the serpent knew that she made a mistake, he pushed her on the tree and she touched the tree. He says, see, you're alive. Hashem didn't kill you. So if you could touch it, then that means you could eat it. So he fooled her. So she's saying to Hashem, listen, he deceived me, so I ate. And then the interesting part. Verse 14, chapter 3 in Sefer Bereshit, and Hashem God said to the serpent, because you have done this, accursed are you beyond all the cattle and beyond all beasts of the field. Upon your belly shall you go, and dust shall you eat all the days of your life. And on and on and on with the curse of what he gives to the serpent. We learn from here, Vayomer Adonai Elohim el Nachash, ki asita zot, arur ata mikol habehema mikol chayat hasadeh. Arur, by the way, is the worst possible curse you can get in the entire Torah. If we go to Parashat Bechukotai, later on this year, we're going to see that there's certain sins that mankind can make, and they're called arur. Arur is not a place you want to mess with. And the snake, the serpent, gets the worst possible curse. But that's not the point. We all knew this. We all read Sefer Bereshit. What's the Jidush? The Jidush here is, if you noticed, he asked Adam, what did you do? Adam answered. He asked Chava, Eve, what did you do? She said what she did. She said she blamed the snake. But with the snake, with the serpent, he didn't ask nothing. He just immediately said, Arur ata. He said, you are cursed. Didn't even give him a chance to speak. Why didn't Hashem give him a chance to speak? Because he says, I created him as evil, and his job is evil. And if I ask him, why did you do what you did? He'll actually have an excuse, even though he knows what he did is wrong. He brought death to the world. And to give him an excuse and give him a way to get out of it is not justice. So he didn't even give him an opportunity to speak and punished him immediately. Originally, the serpent was supposed to be the king of all the animals. He was beautiful. He was the most beautiful creation, creature other than mankind, other than Adam HaRishon. And he was actually able to had arms and legs and walked like a human being. But obviously now we see something very different. The point being here is that Hashem knew his creation, and Hashem was not going to be fooled. The same thing as Hashem was not going to let Haman HaRasha fool the king, Achashverosh. Even though Achashverosh was wicked, he still was not allowed to do certain things that Hashem would not let him do. He wouldn't let him fool anyone. And that's why he put him in a situation, in a hole that he can't get himself out of. This is something that we have to learn from a lot of Musar Eskel, because sometimes we have people in our life that are energy drainers, that are people that just suck our energy dry, and they're full of evil and wickedness, and we have to stay away from them. And the best way to stay away from somebody like that is completely shut them out. Don't answer phone calls, don't answer emails, don't answer anything. And little by little, you'll see how the mask they've put on, the Mr. Nice Guy that they look like, the Mrs. Nice Guy, the tzadikah, that she looks like a tzadikah, or the tzaddik that looks like a tzaddik, but obviously you saw something's wrong here, because that's the point of shutting them out in the first place. You don't just shut people out for no reason. Somebody did something, and it's completely off character. One day they're saying that the biggest tzaddik in the world, and the next day you're seeing the guy is cheating people in business and making it, putting a kosher sign on it. One day you're seeing a woman saying she's tzadikah, but the next thing you know, the only thing she does is spread lashon hara and create a satan between people. People like that, you have to cut out. You can't fix it. You're not going to fix it. Your friend's not going to fix it. No one's going to fix it. Why? Because they have to fix themselves if they want to fix themselves. Because even Hashem was not willing to fix them. Even Hashem was not willing to fix Haman. Even Hashem was not willing to fix the serpent. So you're going to fix these evil people? No. You have to stay away from them. The best thing to do is to shut them out. How do you shut them out? And make them expose themselves? By completely disconnecting, and you're going to see they're going to send you more messages and more messages and more phone calls. And each time, they become more and more desperate. And each time they say more and more things. Each time they incriminate themselves. Each time they show their true colors. And then each time you get it, you realize how much of an amazing decision you made by listening to Da'at Torah, to listening to the opinion of the Torah, the opinion of Hashem himself and what he did. And that's what our purpose in this world is to emulate the midot, the characteristics of Hashem. May Hashem bless you and make you stay away from these people and not bring any of these people into your life. And unfortunately, if they ever do, now you know. If they ever do come to your life, now you know how to deal with them. Chazakim u'buchim, thank you for learning with me, and may Hashem continue to bless you. Kol Tuv.